stunning millions of fans around the world. Pioneering music legend Prince has died at the age of 57.
Hello everyone. When Prince Rogers Nelson died in 2016, fans thought they knew everything about the legendary artist. But nothing could prepare the world for what was uncovered inside his garage. At Paisley Park, behind locked, windowless doors, was a secret so stunning, so personal, it changed how we understand his legacy forever. From iconic vehicles to an underground studio, and thousands of unheard songs, this hidden treasure trove stunned even his closest friends. What was Prince really hiding all those years? Stick around, because this revelation is more than shocking, it's historic. Unlike other celebrities who proudly display their cars, clothes, and trophies, Prince was the opposite. He was intensely private, refusing to let the world peek behind the curtain. Even among close friends and collaborators, there were certain areas of Paisley Park that were completely off limits. The garage was one of them. It was massive, more like an airplane hangar than a typical garage, and people always wondered what was inside. Prince never offered explanations. If anyone asked, he would smile, deflect, and move on. After his passing, curiosity turned into investigation. When the doors to that mysterious garage were finally opened, what they found shocked everyone. Not just fans, but even those who had known him for decades. Because inside wasn't just a collection of old cars, it was an elaborate, layered world, a living museum of creativity, nostalgia, innovation, and secrets. What lay behind those walls redefined how we remember Prince, not only as a musician, but as a visionary who thought far beyond the stage. The first object to greet visitors was iconic, the legendary purple Honda CM400A motorcycle, the same one featured in his groundbreaking film and album Purple Rain. It wasn't just sitting there, it looked brand new, as if it had never been ridden, waxed, polished, perfectly preserved. This wasn't just a bike, it was a time capsule. The choice of motorcycle also reflected Prince's practicality. Standing just 5'3", he chose a smaller bike that fit his frame. Unlike other celebrities who often bought oversized machines for the image, for Prince, it was never about appearance. It was about function and feeling, but the purple Honda was only the beginning. Under custom covers were more motorcycles, vintage cruisers, modern sport bikes, custom-built two-wheelers, all different, all curated with care. Alongside them were leather jackets, helmets, and riding gear. These weren't decorative props. He rode them, frequently, round Minneapolis, late at night. It was how he escaped, how he found silence. His motorcycle collection wasn't about speed or style. It was about solitude and freedom. Then came the unexpected centerpiece, the Ford Thunderbird collection. There were 5 of them, one from each important era of Thunderbird history, a 1964 model, a 1972 from the muscle car age, and a 1983 edition that perfectly aligned with Prince's rise to stardom. Each was a masterpiece, restored to flawless condition, with interiors customized to his exact specifications. But what truly stood out was the arrangement. They weren't parked randomly, they were staged in chronological order, like a visual timeline of American car design. The Thunderbirds symbolized Prince's childhood dreams. Growing up in a working-class family in Minneapolis, these cars represented freedom, elegance, and success. When he made it big, he didn't just buy them, he preserved them. Inside each Thunderbird was a custom audio system, not just for music, but for Prince's music. He made sure every car could play his songs in perfect sound quality. It wasn't about ego. It was about hearing the art as he imagined it. These weren't cars, they were rolling listening rooms, but nothing compared to the discovery of the little red Corvette, the actual car that inspired one of his biggest hits. Sitting quietly near the back, its red paint still vibrant, the car looked untouched by time. Inside the glove box were handwritten lyrics, scribbled on hotel stationery and napkins. Old cassette tapes labeled in Prince's handwriting, raw recordings of the song, early versions, alternate takes. The car had been his mobile songwriting studio, a place where inspiration struck and magic was recorded. He had adjusted the seat and controls for his small frame. This wasn't a collector's item. It was a sacred artifact. Just when it seemed the surprises were over, they found a Voss tour bus, his personal mobile base during the height of his touring years. From the outside, it looked like a standard luxury vehicle, but inside, it was a marvel. A fully operational mobile studio, complete with synthesizers, keyboards, a control room, and soundproofed walls. He could record entire albums while traveling. The bedroom, kitchen, and communication systems were all designed specifically for Prince's needs, his height, his diet, his business operations. It wasn't a bus. It was Paisley Park on wheels. Then came the biggest revelation: the secret studio. Tucked behind the cars and hidden from plain sight, the garage opened up into a full-scale, professional-grade recording studio that no one knew existed. Not collaborators, not producers, not even family. It was Prince's most protected space. His personal sanctuary for creation. The studio rivaled anything in Los Angeles or Nashville. Movable acoustic panels, isolation booths, custom-designed equipment, and a mixing console that was one of a kind, built specifically for his workflow. It was a sound scientist's playground. This wasn't a vanity project. Prince had spent years here. Recording logs dating back 20 years were found. Thousands of hours of music, most of it unreleased. Some experimental, some fully produced, all of it cataloged with precision. Surrounding this studio was something even more astonishing: a climate-controlled vault, purpose-built for archiving unreleased recordings. Inside were over 8,000 original tracks, entire albums that had never been released, musical experiments that had never been shared, songs where Prince played every instrument. Some were written and recorded just weeks before his death. This wasn't just a vault, it was a museum of the mind. The tapes discovered in Prince's hidden vault weren't just recordings. They were meticulous blueprints of his genius. Each one was labeled with astonishing precision: recording dates, instrument lists, mood descriptions, even room temperatures. His handwritten notes, musical scores, and tracking sheets gave a rare and intimate glimpse into a mind that didn't just create on instinct. He engineered every second of sound with scientific care. Among the treasure trove were collaborations with legendary names that shocked even industry insiders. Jazz greats, classical composers, and avant-garde experimentalists, some of whom had never been publicly credited. Prince had been silently crafting a separate legacy, one that wasn't meant for radio hits or chart-topping albums. This was music for the future, a private archive of innovation that may not have been meant for release until long after he was gone. He had also delved into instruments that few associated with him: classical violins, African drums, and an arsenal of rare synthesizers. But these weren't props. They were part of an evolving sonic toolkit. Many had been custom-built, re-engineered by Prince himself. They didn't exist in music stores, they existed only in his world. He wasn't bound by tradition or technology. He shaped sound like a sculptor, inventing tools to express ideas no one else had even imagined. Everything in that room: the soundproof panels, the adjustable acoustics, the scribbled notes and tapes whispered the same truth. Prince wasn't just a musician. He was an inventor, a sonic architect, a man who built new worlds from rhythm and melody, working far beyond the reach of any label or critic. And this studio, it wasn't a museum. It wasn't frozen in time. It was alive, active, pulsing with energy. Different workstations lined the studio, each dedicated to a specific genre or style. In one corner, a setup for raw, unfiltered funk. In another, a carefully ranged area for orchestral experiments, with classical sheet music spread across the table. Elsewhere, electronic beats, distorted loops, and layered sounds danced through. A modular setup connected by a tangle of colored cables. Notebooks lay open. Synthesizers were powered down but not unplugged. Lyrics, melodies, even full arrangements were frozen mid-creation. It felt like he had just stepped out for a moment, perhaps to grab a drink or take a breath before returning to finish building a new masterpiece. Prince worked alone, not because he was isolated, but because he didn't need supervision. He didn't seek validation. He was his own audience, his own engineer, his own producer. And now we understand why. The final shock came from something almost invisible: the positioning of the vehicles. The Thunderbirds, the Purple Rain motorcycle, the little red Corvette, even the tour bus. None of it was parked randomly. They were strategically placed to hide the entrance to the studio. To the untrained eye, it looked like a collector's display, but for Prince, it was camouflage. Visual misdirection to protect what truly mattered: his creative soul. For years, fans wondered how Prince managed to produce so much music in such a short time, across so many styles. Now we know. He had created a 24-hour, private creative sanctuary, fully equipped and shielded from the world. The garage at Paisley Park wasn't just a workspace. It was his masterpiece. Everything inside it: his Purple Rain bike, the Thunderbirds, the little red Corvette, the tour bus, the secret studio, and the vault told the same story. A story of a man who never stopped pushing boundaries, a man who worked endlessly in silence, away from praise or applause, crafting a legacy so vast we're only beginning to understand it. Prince didn't just live for the moment, he created for eternity. So now we ask you, what shocked you the most? Was it the little red Corvette, the flawless Thunderbirds, the secret studio, or the thousands of unheard songs? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more untold stories. Because when it comes to Prince, the mystery is far from over. Thanks for watching ***.